Previously on D&D Kinda.
Topher, there is a place that you recognize. You feel very at home. You turn around and you're in a church. And as you turn around, you see the face of your mother and your father. And as you walk away from them, there is someone standing on the altar wearing robes with the symbol of Mishkal. He bends down on one knee and says, "You are destined for the greatest of good."
What do you think is going to come from all this? What do you think is going to happen? Whether your friends turn on you or not, whether you are the ultimate savior, whether you are the damnation of the world, what happens to you?
Whatever the outcome may be, the part that I wish to play in all of this is that of good.
Then careful who you keep company with. There are those who walk among you, and you cannot trust over.
Whenever that happens, there is a bright, open light where he walks into it and then he disappears.
I'll walk towards that opening.
You begin to walk towards it and it begins to pull you in. And as you get closer, it becomes less of a portal of light and it seems to be a vortex of fire and darkness as it sucks you into it. So Velka gets moonbeamed, he gets hit with a halberd, and then he gets shot 3 times with an Eldritch Blast, and then he just gets rocketed out of this circle that you all are standing in. Then he begins to speak.
It's been some time. It's clear I've underestimated my foe. I will not make that mistake again.
And as he gets towards you guys, he just disappears into the lava in front of you. And then across the battlefield, there is a tall creature that is very human-like that steps out onto the battlefield, the circle that you guys are in, and it begins walking towards you. So this creature, as it steps towards you guys, he puts out his hand and just like flings his hand in your guys' direction. And as he does, this like lava kind of like spews off of his hand. And as it's flinging towards all 3 of you, they transform into daggers and they are just all flinging towards you in the air. And as it does, I need everyone to make this would be a charisma saving throw.
Hey.
Fuck. Not good.
Charisma?
Yep.
We have to talk our way out of it?
Would this be considered magic?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's an 11.
Okay.
22.
Where do I see my charisma modifier?
It'll just be yours under saving throws. There'll be a charisma
CHA.
Damn, it's plus 12?
Damn. You got hella charisma. Mine is
rolled a
literally
27.
0.
Holy shit.
Wait, what?
Nice.
Oh, wow. I have been reading this wrong the entire time. You know how many saving throws I have lost that I should have won? I have been looking at the plus up here.
You know, that's a you problem, though, bro.
Literally. Wow. Okay. So yeah, then it should have actually been a 26 for me.
Okay.
Jesus.
So you both fail, or you fail.
I fail, yes. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, what?
Yeah,
26 fails?
That would have been insane.
All right. So Bartholomew and Hamilton, when this gets thrown at you, you guys both jump out of the way, and Benedict, you just take the full brunt of all of these daggers, and you get hit for 43 damage as they just pelt you all over you. And this creature continues to walk towards you. And as it does...
Oh, as a reaction. Sorry.
Okay.
As a reaction, I can absorb elements. Hang on.
So these are daggers. It's not an element.
Oh, they're just actual iron.
They turn into... It's a spell. It turns...
Well, was there elemental damage attached to it, or...
No.
Oh, fuck.
It's just magic. Magic, but they're daggers, so...
Get wrecked.
Probably gonna die.
So as it gets closer to you, he actually casts Ray of Frost. And he kind of puts his hand out and he flings like this magma out, and it just turns into these daggers that all pelt you. And then he also shoots Ray of Frost, and he's going to cast it at you, Hamilton, and you specifically.
Okay.
So,
I'm going to use a reaction.
okay.
I'm going to use Entropic Ward. So you will have disadvantage on this roll, and if you miss your next attack roll, I have advantage on you.
Okay. No problem. That is a 20. Does that hit?
That will hit.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it will hit, yeah.
So this hits you and does 23 points of frost damage.
Okay.
And that is the end of this creature's turn as he continues to walk towards you.
Boys, Hamilton's not doing so hot. Hamilton's feeling this.
I'm blooded.
Next in the order is Benedict.
Yeah. Okay, so how far is he away?
I would say probably like 10 feet at this point. He's continually moving forward towards you, so.
Okay. So, I am going to cast Wall of Thorns. And I create a wall of tough, pliable, tangled brush, bristling with needle-sharp thorns. Choose to make the wall up to 60 feet long, 10 feet high, and 5 feet thick, or a circle that has a 20-foot diameter, 20 foot high, and 5 foot thick. And I would like to cast it as a dome on this bitch.
You want to encase him in this?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when the wall appears, I have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
17.
All right. Dexterity saving throw. All right, that was a 22, so
Okay.
we're good. Do I take damage anyway, or
Yes.
what happens? But so if you're casting this and it's going around him, but I've passed the check, I'm okay with the individual taking the damage, but I don't want this to be a complete success regardless because he passed the check. So I would say maybe he gets caught in it and he takes some damage, but I don't want it to encase him since he passed the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's more detail in this, which I'm looking for.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm going to roll the damage first. Ooh. So, 32, you take 16 damage.
Okay, so 16 damage.
And then a creature can move through the wall slowly and painfully. For every 1 foot, a creature that moves through the wall must spend 4 feet of movement. Furthermore, the first time a creature enters the wall, on the turn or at the end of its turn, the creature must take a dexterity saving throw. And it takes the same 7 d8s.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I would say since it failed, though, I would say he's not encased in it. I would say just he would have to make 1 dex save to be able to move through. Because I get what you were going for, but he's going to have to...
Yeah,
So,
he can
okay.
still move through it. Yeah.
All right.
He's just going to take damage.
Anything else?
No.
You have any? Okay.
No, that's it.
All right,
Well,
next.
no, I can I can cast a cantrip. And I'm going to cast fucking Magic Stone. And that is going to be 13.
13 damage?
No.
Oh, a 13. Okay.
Yeah, to
that
attack.
does not beat the armor class.
Yeah,
But
so I
you
threw a
already had
rock at you and
Take that.
fuck you, bitch.
So Benedict, you in the middle of this battlefield, there's now like a mound of thorns just like in the middle of this circle in which you guys are all fighting, and he gets kind of caught in it and is able to break free from it, not without taking damage. And when he does, part of this magma like starts to like rip off of him, and you guys see a cloak kind of underneath of that. And everyone make a perception check with disadvantage.
I rolled a 16.
That was with disadvantage?
Yeah.
Perception.
I had a nat 20. And now I have a 10.
Ouch.
Get wrecked.
14.
Okay.
Benedict,
If.
you see
Yeah.
this.
No way.
Your eyes work.
You have a working set of eyes.
Whenever you see this like break away, when he like tears out of these thorns, you see a cloak that looks sort of familiar to you. But I won't be able to give you any more with that than that with this roll.
Really?
Yes. So, next in the order though, as this lava Velka thing is walking towards you all, is Bartholomew.
So this magma creature, this fluid thing, I can get a sense of kind of how it's bubbly. I can get a sense for where Velka is inside of this fluid.
It's very much shaped like him, like he's encased in it.
So like where his chest would be, I'm just going to focus my effort on his chest area, and I'm going to use Dreadful Aspect,
Okay.
which is a part of a paladin's ability to channel their divinity. So as an action, each creature of my choice that I see within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw of 16. And on a failure, you're frightened for a minute. And and then you'd have to move away to attempt another saving throw. So I'm trying to though focus not on Velka, like what's underneath of the fluid, but I'm really trying to focus on the fluid itself. I want to see if I can get that magma to be fearful of me.
Okay, so what exactly do I need to do?
Just roll a wisdom saving throw and beat 16.
Wisdom saving throw. That is only an 11. So what exactly takes place then?
On failure, the target is frightened of you for 1 minute.
Okay, so you can tell that this, whatever you just casted, it was successful. Just by the nature of you casting it. Now, how do you want to utilize this in battle?
So I was just looking here. Yeah, I don't think I have a second turn. It says I have extra attack, but it says you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. And technically what I just did wasn't an attack action, so I don't think I have an extra attack.
Okay.
So I won't be...
Are you sure? You casted a spell, right?
Yeah.
That's an attack, technically, because I had to make a saving throw against it.
Okay, well then I'll take that as the reason that I can do it. And my follow-up action for that is I'm within 30 feet, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so that, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to cast that spell, I guess. But I am within 30 feet, so my next move is place the halberd behind. Is that considered an action though? To sheath a weapon?
To switch weapons would be, yes.
But I can just put it behind my back and that's not take out anything else. I don't want to pull out a new weapon. I just want to put it behind my back.
No, that's not. That you could just... Yeah.
Actually, I might just undo that. Sorry, Daniel. You're welcome for all this editing. Bartholomew is going to take a number of after he casts Channel Divinity onto the surface of this blob creature that is now surrounding Velka. The dreadful aspect was successful, so that blob should now be fearful of Bartholomew. And Bartholomew's second action here in his turn, he's going to dash toward this blob creature. And he's going to go straight for the area that he focused when he channeled his divinity into the chest, or what was in front of the chest of Velka. And he's going to dash toward that area, jump into the air, and try to, take his hand. And what his goal is to touch Velka's chest. He wants to, and by his goal, his intention to casting Dreadful Aspect on the surface of the blob was that in hopes that when he got near the blob, the blob would be scared and would start to recede away from his hands. So that way the Velka himself within this blob would be what he could touch.
Okay. Well, what's the goal once you're like on top of him?
So once
Because this would be
Bartholomew,
your end of your action.
yeah, once Bartholomew runs toward and tries to, basically touch the chest of Velka within this blob, it's going to depend. What he does is really going to depend on what happens with the blob. Like, does it recede as he is expecting it to because it's fearful of him, or does it not because it doesn't have any effect with even by being scared, it doesn't think it needs to go away.
Okay. Well, tell me this, and I'll answer that question for you. Bartholomew is trying to get this stuff to recede. How exactly do you want to make it so you're getting close? Do you just want to like walk up to him, or do you just want to try to like pin him down?
It was just like a dash. So I pictured this being like standing in the distance, and then me casting Channel Divinity on the section in front of his chest, and then dashing toward him, and then just trying to reach to touch his chest with his hand, as if to cast a spell on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you rush up, and Velka is still walking towards you, and as you rush up and you push your hand up against his chest, obviously Velka tries to like move, and you're able to push your hand onto where his chest is, and as you do, you feel and see this red magma type stuff recede from the area of where your hand is, and it's slowly peeling back. And do you take an action then?
Yeah, once I make contact with with Velka's chest, that's when Bartholomew casts command.
Okay.
Velka will have to make a wisdom saving throw of 16.
Now he has advantage on remember, because he had it against Jed earlier too. Any command or like mental attacks.
Maybe I don't want to cast command then.
Yeah, the ability to be mentally manipulated, commanded, charmed, anything like that, he has advantage.
Yeah, Bartholomew wouldn't have known that though, so maybe we should just stick with my initial gut. I'll cast command.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it could still succeed. He just has advantage.
It's just a low chance that it will.
And what saving throw is that again?
Wisdom 16. You probably already have.
Yeah, the first roll was a 19, so.
Yeah, that saves.
All right.
And then after I cast the command and it didn't have any effect, then Bartholomew just kind of uses his hand on this creature and just kind of pushes himself back a slight little way, just to be falling away after attempting that attack, a risky attack. I might be in a position though that's disadvantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you leave, he'll get an attack of opportunity on you. If you just stay in his like immediate 5-foot range, it will be.
I just pictured it like one of those moments in a movie when like the hero tried to do something crazy and it failed, so they're just kind of falling backwards in like slow motion, and then it makes you absorb into the moment of their failure.
I never think about you like that. Okay, so next in the order then will be Hamilton.
So you kind of see Bartholomew rush up, and then you see like his hand and the magma kind of recede, and he attempts this spell and it fails, and he kind of is falling back away as you take your actions. What do you do?
So at this moment in time, you cast a spell last turn, Benedict. So you weren't within range of him, but Bartholomew, you are within range of him.
Oh yeah, I'm real close to him. I can reach out and touch him basically.
Okay. Because I have other spells that I want to do, but they're all like area of effect spells. And I don't want you guys to get hit by them because they're pretty strong.
Yeah, I'd prefer to not die.
So I'm going to cast Witch Bolt at the 5th level.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 24.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay. Then... So this is a fun little spell when cast at this level. So it's actually going to be 5d12.
Mother of Lords.
And because it landed successfully, for every turn for the duration of the spell, which is up to a minute long, I automatically deal 5d12 damage.
Wow. Now, is it a concentration spell?
It is.
So you can essentially use your turn to take that, to cast that.
I really missed a fucking opportunity there. I'm pissed about it.
All right, let me
What'd you do?
let me do these damage boys right
Tried
here.
to fucking command him rather than just ending his dumb, pathetic, useless existence.
Oh,
I had a really fucking strong take I could have used.
So that's 29 damage.
damn!
But then you also take 1 fire damage as well.
Get fucked.
Did you physically hit him?
With
Or
a
was it,
spell.
or was it magic?
Magic.
Okay.
What type of magic?
Lightning.
Okay.
Or was it
And,
earlier that we said radiant damage does apply to an attack?
Radiant. Oh, I get radiant damage.
Yeah, because
From
that's what I was
you.
thinking.
You get 1d4 radiant damage.
Yeah.
I thought that didn't apply to spell attacks,
2.
though.
No, we determined.
We
it
determined it did.
So
Oh,
2 radiant damage as well.
After
So a total of.
Yeah, how convenient.
It was 29 lightning, 1 fire, 2 radiant.
After
Okay. So here's how this is going. Why don't you give me the visuals here, Jed?
So Witch Bolt is a concentration spell, and I actually sustain lightning in between you and I. So I would like to think that my Blumpkin staff, I'm probably just holding it up over my head, and that when in my right hand, and with my left hand, I'm like holding it out like Sith fingers. And just like lightning shoots out of. Actually, so here's how I think. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna paint this thing real deep.
You make it as cool as possible.
So Hamilton reaches out with his left hand, with his fingers pointing towards Velka, and he's got the staff up in the air over his head. And like all around the battlefield, there's just like crackling and like static electricity. And it all just kind of like comes together into like a ball of lightning in between Velka and Hamilton. And then from the center, it arcs outwards towards the two of them. And it hits Velka and then hits Hamilton's hands. And then Hamilton casts the spell, and like a pulse of lightning, of electricity, rolls through this lightning that's connecting them and slams into Velka.
And as the lightning is passing by Bartholomew, because he's right there by it, as it passes by Bartholomew's halberd that's on his back has thunderous smite charged on it. And it arcs kind of like a Tesla does to something near it. It just arcs, lightning goes like down Bartholomew's back and onto his lightning halberd.
Bartholomew's dead.
5d12 damage.
Okay, so here's what happens as this takes place and this lightning like moves towards Velka. It like hits this magma, and this magma just gets blasted, and it just starts to like singe and just starts to fall off like rock, and it just like you just see this lightning just coursing through this figure, and it just turns the entire figure just like into a hard stone, and it just like, and with like lightning and electricity like crackling through it, and then you just see it just like catch on fire, not like this dark weird magma fire like you've seen. It literally catches like a normal flame from like it getting hit, and then you see this magma start, or this rock that's kind of formed because of this lightning, kind of like crack and start to fall apart, and it starts to fall over as if it has no life left in it, and just hits the ground in front of you guys, and it crumbles, and within the magma was Lokar, and he is lying lifeless on the ground in front of you, and behind you all you hear Velka laughing as he's standing outside of the ring clapping.
Does anybody remember where Chrysalix is?
No.
I don't know, something about darts and dicks. I don't remember.
Get him in.
He didn't show up to the battle. The only people that came here
Suspicious.
was
Sus.
Lokar and
Sus.
Very sus.
All right, so we just fucked up Dad.
So he's laying essentially lifeless in the middle
Is
of
he
this
dead?
battlefield, and Velka's behind you, just applauding what you guys have done.
Like I said, it's clear that I underestimated you. Tell you what, I'm going to give you a choice.
And he points across the way to where Francis is on the wall.
I will let Francis go, leave Lokar, whatever condition he may be in, and I'm going to go. Or he can continue, and I kill her. Your choice.
I never did like Karen.
And you can see Francis, and as you do, you see this magma. It's like shifting and it's tightening, and you can tell that she's having a hard time breathing. And it just seems to be tightening and restricting more and more around her.
I definitely still want to fight him.
I don't want my moms to die.
I too don't want my mom to die.
She can be your
She's
mom. I
also
guess.
my mom.
Moms. Fuck, man. What are you thinking? What are you guys thinking?
I'll say this as well, as he says this, and you guys are you see Francis beginning to struggle, and as he says this and he gives you guys this choice, the magma around him starts to rise up, and you see these creatures like Benedict you saw in your room that night begin to form around him, and all three of them, the ones from the Nobleman's Keep that you guys had seen, all rise up and take their place around him.
I'm really tempted to go all in on this.
I am too. Very tempted. But it is still Francis. We probably need her.
Do we, though? She's just an NPC.
I don't know. This fucking Velka's... Francis is strong as shit, and Velka is... I think Velka might be out of our league. What do you want to
It's
do?
pretty clear that you guys are on both sides of the fence. I guess that's...
I really want to fight him, but I also don't want to deal with the consequences of my actions.
Bartholomew looks at both Benedict and Hamilton and says, "If you choose to stay, you might want to let your mother know."
So Hamilton takes his backpack off and sets it on the ground next to him, and he opens it. And could you roll a 20 for me?
13.
Puddin sees his shadow.
6 more weeks of
6
battle.
more weeks of battle. Put it in the hands of the gods, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
So
Humans should never be entitled to making decisions. Let the entropy of the universe determine our fate.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll for my answer. Okay, I saved my mom. That's what I'm going to try to do.
So you want to try to hold the battle up, and
Well,
because the option he's giving you is, I will leave now
Which
with
saves
his
them
newly
his mom.
spawned creatures, and I will let this go, and we go. We will leave you here in peace. We will go, and she will live, or we fight and I kill her right now.
I kind of want to do something sneaky, but
Now I'm totally down for that.
yeah.
But just remember,
We still in
we'll be
initiative
we'll be
order?
roll. No. Well, depends on what we do here. But you can try something.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that there will be checks
Yes,
against
yeah,
it,
I
and
know.
it could have worse
I know that.
consequences.
I know that it could.
Well.
But I like the
But-
idea that you guys are thinking outside the box here. This is I try to reward your guys' creativity. So if something happens, I'm down to play with it. Just keep in mind, if it fails, that's on you.
Is Francis conscious?
Yes.
That's where I was going with it. Like, to break the fourth wall here, that's what Bartholomew said that to you.
So
Because he knew you could speak telepathically.
So
'cause
that's
you just did
exactly
it to
where I
him.
was going to go with that. Yeah. So then Hamilton is going to reach out to Francis, and just to put something else out there in case.
Well, let's say before we do that, let's make our Arcana check, because I made you do it with Bartholomew.
What's my mom? I feel like she should be able to.
She's
just
not your
know.
fucking mom.
But she's not?
No, it's
stepmom.
Benedict's mom.
It's his stepmother.
Oh.
Hamilton doesn't have a mom.
Dad's dead.
Actually,
He was
does.
immaculately
Her name was
conceived
Corrine,
from
but that's
Lokar's wiener.
Corrine?
Her
So
name
you
was
said
Lydia.
Arcana?
Yeah, Arcana check.
18.
Yes, I would say that with an 18, you kind of do that whole spiritual knock on the door. Not spiritual, psychic. The psychic knock on the
Psychic.
door. And Francis is receptive to it.
Yeah, I bet she is.
Yeah, she's super powerful over there just chilling out.
So we have a telepathic link. opened
Now,
up then,
yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Mom, are you there?
Mom, are you there?
You just hear a psychic door slam.
Wonder what a sigh sounds like telepathically.
Fuck. That's what she says.
I would say, are you watching her when you do this? Like,
Yeah.
She face palms.
well, she's like completely up to the neck. This stuff's like restricting her, and you can see it like shifting tighter around her. So you look over, and she's obviously struggling, and then you can tell that you don't hear her speak back to you. You can tell like mentally she is like, it distracts her from what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So she can hear me.
that's the vibe that you pick up on.
Yeah.
With that 18, you get the idea that you knocked and there's an answer.
Yeah. I guess I'm just curious, like, does she think it's wise for us to stand our ground here and now? But I don't know how I say that. I guess I could just say that exactly. Do you think it's wise for us to stand our ground here and now?
So I want to answer, but I also don't want this, because I don't think Frances would be, I don't think she'd want to die, but I also think that she wouldn't have the ability to.
I don't.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
like Frances's mindset would be, if we feel like, she very much would be, if we feel we can handle this in this moment, she would be willing to risk her life for that.
Yeah.
But she would, I don't think, given like how quickly things took place with her in the beginning, she would have a good opportunity to give you a great answer there. But here's what we'll do. So you ask her that, and she speaks back to you telepathically. You can tell that she's struggling, and her words are very broken, and just what you're hearing is, it's on and off. You hear her say,
If you feel like you and my son can stop this, I urge you to do so. But I don't. Can you? Do we have the opportunity to end this here?
so essentially what you get from that, and I want to give you more context, not because I want to provide the listeners more context, but I feel like given how that's communicated to you mentally, there would be a different way of it coming through.
Yeah.
Especially with an 18. Essentially, she's saying that she's willing to, like I said, she's willing to risk her life but she is saying that she's relying on you guys 100% to know if
If we can stop him.
Yeah, is he giving you this ultimatum because he's weak and leveraging your...
Exactly. Because it could, because my thought is, we don't know this person. So, this could even just be a bluff. He could just be bluffing by saying, oh, well, I'll just kill Francis, because Francis is super powerful. So, does he even have the power to just, effectively, snap his fingers and just kill her outright? That's... Because if he is that powerful...
Well, I mean, he's got her pinned up right now with ease.
Well, but restraining her is one thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, that's why there's physical characteristics, like obviously health and things like that. All these people they function, their anatomy is very similar. It's if they can't breathe, then they're gonna die. So, like, you could think about it as her health is slowly draining or something like that. I would say in this moment, you know what? Let's play some fucking D&D. Make a insight check here. I don't want to give answers unless you earn the answers.
Food for thought, too, is maybe there's something she can do.
It's not very good. That's a 10.
So, I mean, I would still say with a 10, I would say there's just a passive insight of you would just assume that if Frances could do something in this moment, she would have done something. She was taken completely by surprise, and now she's like pinned down. She doesn't have access to her magic focus. She doesn't have the ability to cast a spell just due to the fact that she is tied up. Now, if you could break her free, maybe there'd be opportunities there, but and roll with the sneaky way Josh was saying. But in this moment, it's iffy because you think if Velka gets the idea that you guys are going to try something, he's just going to force your hand. So that would be probably the native assumption I would imagine you guys would have.
So what I was wanting was you guys to fight Velka and keep him distracted while I go try to get the lava stuff off of Francis.
I'm cool with that.
I can still wild shape one more time. But I also might have to save that for a getaway as well. So I should save that.
I don't know if I would save too many things given the likelihood that we could die here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that is something else that we should consider is that I have 20 hit points left.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah, I have 50.
So, like, we're pretty decently hurt at this point as well.
Yeah. And we don't have our primary healer. Like, I have heals, but they're not going to get... I could get you to 26 if I do a perfect roll.
But what if we
oh
can
boy.
just kill
There
this
goes
dude?
my turn.
Or capture him somehow.
I know
mean, I still got
the
a level
smart
5
thing to do.
moonbeam. Yeah, the smart thing is to just leave with Francis.
Yeah.
But that's...
I don't know that that's the Hamilton thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the thing I want to do. At all.
Really torn here.
I'm not going to make the
Yeah,
decision
man,
for
this
you
is,
guys.
this is a tough decision.
What do we think here?
So collectively, this is what I was doing.
I'm reserving this decision for you guys, so go for it.
Yeah? Fuck. I was leaving it at the chance. Like, anything below 10, we continue to fight and Francis dies. Anything above 10, we leave. Yeah? Alright. That's a 19.
All right.
So we leave.
So we leave. We take the offer.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you guys left that up to chance, I want to know how you guys... I want you guys to voice your response to Velka here.
Hamilton said,
Okay.
let's roll the dice.
I can't imagine you guys are thrilled about the decision either way either. So, I mean,
I'm pissed. I'm still covered in a fucking ring of fire. Just covered in fire.
I mean...
I kind of want to shoot it at him.
So he had said to us that we had a choice, that he could leave now, and then that was the last thing that he had vocalized to us, right?
yeah. And then he brought those doppelganger creatures to assist him in the event that you guys were to choose to battle him. So he's kind of like standing in the middle of these three.
And it's his turn in initiative too. So.
It is.
So I don't think that Hamilton would say anything. I think he would just put away his staff.
Okay. Benedict
I extinguish the fires from my body.
and Bartholomew, do you just follow suit? Since you left it up to them, how does Bartholomew react to seeing them make a choice? Because obviously they don't verbalize even to you that they've made a choice.
Bartholomew's like, wow, they chose something. Incredible.
Bartholomew kind of takes a step backward, still facing Velka and these three creatures of malice. And as he's kind of stepping back, he he gets this like tingling sensation on his back again, he's just trying to flex something that's not there. Those wings just really want to spread, and he's like, he feels like this moment was like part of what everything that they had done to work up to. And he thinks to himself, it could be a moment of evil of him to decide to reach out and inflict his wounds. But he continues to step backwards and respects the gesture that he observed of Hamilton and Benedict as they become more passive, as a gesture to say that they're not going to fight him anymore.
And whenever you do this, you just see Velka turn around and begin to walk away, and this lava and magma just springs up in a circle around you, obscuring your vision of him. And it's like not just at like a wall, but just like shooting up like fire and lava just all around, and it's just everywhere, creating this wall and of just pillars of shooting lava. And you see Francis, it breaks around Francis, and you see her fall to the ground, and it just kind of dissipates, and you do not see Velka anymore. He is gone.
So, I mean, I kind of want to, I guess, go see Lokar reluctantly and Mom, see if they're like, need some healing. Anything like that.
Some sexual healing.
Yeah.
So there's still like a bunch of pretty much chaos around us, right? It's still like fires and a bunch of smoke and fog. It's real dense fog because of everything. And
yeah, so
what time of day is it? Give us some vibes here.
I would actually say it's so smoky and ashy, like you can't see the sun, and it's just dark because of like the plumes of clouds that are still overhead. I would say you probably wouldn't be able to tell what time of day it is where you're currently at, just because it's just, although like the supernatural presence have all but like dissipated from the area, it's still just like this place is freshly exploded. Like there's just dust and clouds in the sky, and it's like even if it were high noon, you wouldn't be able to tell because the clouds are just so thick and dense. So it's just very dark.
Well, I mean, I say we can get the fuck out of here. I still have a wild shape. I can use 2 since I'm level 12 per long rest. So I still have 1 wild shape.
So as Velka disappears, those creatures also are gone as well, right?
Correct.
So we're in, like, basically the immediate threat is gone, and Francis and Lokar have both kind of been freed, or they're not dead. Bartholomew, he kind of like sits down, and he goes from like a seated position looking down at the ash that's collected on the ground around him from all the turmoil of Neverwinter, and he kind of just lays back and looks up into the air and just starts thinking about like mulling over the past few hours. And he thinks about Topher, and he thinks about where Topher is, and where, like, what's going on with him, and we let Velka get away, and it looked a lot like Topher. It might have been him. We shouldn't have let him get away. And all these conflicts are happening in Bartholomew, and he's just laying there resting after the battle.
So about the cloak that caught my attention during the fight, can I like refer back to that and maybe like make a roll to see if I can think about it? Or, well, you guys didn't get the perception checks. You wouldn't.
I know, but you could tell us.
Yeah,
like that something was familiar about him.
Science.
There was something familiar about his cloak.
I'd assumed by now you had surmised why there was something familiar about his cloak.
I had not. We were fighting. Like, that's why I didn't.
Because whenever it blew away the coat on it, the cloak was Lokar's cloak, not.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Okay. Because yep. All right. I did back.
Your roll just wasn't high enough to to immediately piece that together, because if you had rolled high enough, it would have been you realized that was Lokar.
Yeah.
And that would have changed the course of
I
the
was
battle a
losing
little
track
bit.
of when that happened. I thought that was on Velka and not Lokar.
So what do you guys want to do?
Bartholomew's resting.
Yes, that. Now what do you guys do? Are you guys just kind of like
Check on Francis and Lokar.
Okay. Where to first? Or are you guys just kind of
I'm
part
going
ways?
to Francis first.
Okay. Do you want to go check on Lokar while he's checking on Francis then? Just kind of split up? Okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
Benedict, you hustle up the staircase and you...
Traverse the stairs.
I'm trying to use different words, okay? All right.
Hustle.
Benedict, you traverse the stairs. Sorry. Whew. It's too hard to hold that in.
Was that good for you too?
Both of the auroras faded. My Crusader's mantle is no longer in effect.
Oof.
And I think wouldn't have Velka's also, since he walked away.
Oh, yeah, it's
That
gone.
darkness that was all over everything.
Yeah. Benedict, when you get to the top of the stairs, Frances is conscious, but she's just laying there on the ground. She's very broken and battered. It looks as if what was wrapped around her had, while it was encasing her, also was burning her. And her body is just covered in bruises, and she's just very beaten up. So you can tell that whatever was taking place, it wasn't just restricting her, it was causing her just immense physical pain.
Yeah.
And she's laying there on the ground, and as you come up and how do you approach her?
I just walk up to her and I put my hand on her head and cast
Zinzu Bean.
Senzu bean.
Senzu Bean.
Moonbeam. Fuck you, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I tell her that I'm like,
It's your fault that he got away. Next time we go alone.
and then I heal her or I cast cure wounds on her.
It's her fault that he got away.
Yep.
Talk about fucking blame, like placement. Holy shit. Blame
Hey, at least-
transference.
At least he communicates how he feels about it.
That doesn't mean it's right.
Doesn't mean it's wrong.
True. I don't have any opinion on it one way or the other. I just thought it was funny. He walks up, he heals her, he's like, this is your fucking fault.
I heal her for 21 health.
Okay. So you see that she's kind of she was almost, like she was hurt to the point where she wasn't really able to communicate like effectively. And when this takes place, you see like your hand starts to glow and you see like life just get like breathed a little bit back into her. And, you know, she acknowledges what you said, and she kind of like looks over to the side and says,
I failed all of you. I should have anticipated that.
and she kind of looks up at you, Benedict, and puts her hand like on the side of your face and says,
I'm sorry, son. I know I wasn't there when you needed me to be. But look who you've turned into. Not on my doing or Lokar's doing, but you're part of this now.
I want to like move her hand off my face. And
Onto your dick.
weird. Very weird.
Mom, no.
Things got real weird.
She literally said, look at what you've
Stepmother,
become.
no.
You could say that with a different tone and it would be bad.
Yeah.
What have you become?
But yeah, I move her hand from my face and tell her,
We don't have time for this.
and then I turn around and then I want to turn into a fucking Quetzalcoatl. Clam down.
emotional moment for Mom. I don't have time for this. Bird, fly away.
Like when I do that, I want
Emotions.
That's Josh in real life.
Josh
too.
comes
Like,
over and says something that summons the emotions. Then when the emotions happen, he goes, fuck this. I'm out.
pretty much.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to turn into the Quetzal Johnson. And-
Quetzal John. You want to turn into a bird dick?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll just wait for everybody to climb aboard.
Who put a dick on
Get-
this bird?
Put a dick. What the fuck, bro? Who put a dick on this bird?
Okay. So Josh
Yeah,
is now
but I
a
wanted-
pterodactyl boy
I
again.
wanted to make it completely like known to her that like I still don't forgive her for me being stuck in an orphanage my whole life and having to deal with all that shit. I never have forgiven her for that.
But you also don't know like why you were there, and you also, or at least we haven't discussed that.
I don't care.
And you also like
probably a
never
really shitty
ever
kid.
gave you a chance
Oh.
to explain it. So,
Yeah, you came out of the womb and she like was going to nurture you and show emotion, and you just slapped her hand off your face and then turned into a Quetzalcoatl and then flew away as an infant.
well, remember
As an infant,
Remember
too?
the reason. Remember the reason you were
Deja vu.
born. Both of you were born.
To disappoint us.
No.
No.
Yes, to disappoint me.
We were born
Technically,
for
yes. That's
Lokar.
why you responded to existence. But you were born of Lokar's seed for him to complete his spell.
Yeah.
Which means that whenever you were born, you were taken from her. She didn't do that to you. Lokar did that to you.
Yeah. Well,
So-
she could have found me. She knew where I was. She knew where I was for years,
She did.
and she did nothing about it.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah, so I'm still pissed at her. Like, I'm being cordial because of the situation, but I want it to be, like, known to her that we're not cool. This was your fault that he got away because you got shit on at the beginning. And you're not coming next time. And we'll have a better chance without you.
You're not going to play with my toys.
Yeah, you're not going to play with my toys.
Get out of my room, Mom. You can't fly on my Quetzalcoatl's back. Don't play with my toys. All right, Hamilton. You approach Lokar's body, and what do?
Is he laying face down or face up?
He is face down.
Ass up.
Face down and also ass down. He's dead.
He has a severe spinal injury.
Oh, shit.
Poke him in the butt with my Blumpkin staff.
Okay. Just as an attempt to see if he reacts.
Yes.
There is no reaction. There's no movement whenever you poke him.
Okay.
Benedict, I think he's dead.
I forgot also that he was a bird.
Okay, so I take Puddin' out of my bag and I make him bite Lokar to see if he's playing dead.
Okay. How do you like influence? Do you have,
Telepathically.
like, an animal handling skill? Isn't there like an animals handling? Isn't
There
that
is.
Yeah. Make an animal handling check. The one time we may ever use that stat.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, I would say with that you couldn't be like bite him, but I would say you could be like you could put him near Lokar's body and just like whack.
Well, yeah, I'm
off.
like just holding him and just
Okay.
like put his face on Lokar.
Okay.
Bite him. God.
Okay, I would say with that you might be able to pull off a bite, and there is still no response. Also, if he is alive now, he probably has rabies.
Well, fuck him. God, that was so funny.
Could I investigate the body for anything that I want?
You called it a body, so Lokar's dead.
Like things that I can take? Because he
It still
probably
has
has
yet
like
to be confirmed.
he probably
but
has
it's
some
pretty
magical
strong
shit.
indication.
So I'm just gonna take that.
Do you just have, like, cure
He
wounds?
does
or
many
anything?
magical shit. I want that right now.
Also, Hamilton's weirdly getting aroused.
Shocker. All right,
Dad,
so
boner.
Dead father.
double boner.
So yeah, you investigate his body, and in this moment, whenever you kind of start pillaging through his drawers,
Just imagine Hamilton with both hands down his underwear, just like, what you got in here?
Just a smile on his face.
Karen looks over with a WTF face on.
Karen.
Nani?
so you start nani. You start to look through his belongings, and you find just like various things like explorer's pack and just daily rations and crap like that, and
Werthers.
Werthers. Just some polishing cream for his bald head. You know about that. And then you also find another one of these trinkets, like the one he showed you that he used to control you.
Oh, really?
And there's one of those on his cloak.
Oh, really?
Take it.
Take it. It's this very intricate, it's almost like a pocket watch, but the only thing that's inside of it is like the inner workings of a pocket watch, all these gears and things, and they have these magical symbols kind of emblazed on the inside of it. And it kind of opens up, and as it's all still, it's perfectly still, but it very much looks like the one that he used on you.
The implication being that maybe somebody was controlling him?
You don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pocket that guy.
Okay.
I'm going to call it Big Brain Pocket Watch.
Nice.
Description. Hella magic.
Boom, boom.
All right. So that's all I found was that?
Other than like the various things, also like his staff is there. But from what you know about Lokar, his magics don't. That's just his magic focus. Mm-hmm. The staff essentially is useless to you. So, I mean, you can still take it for sure, but it doesn't. You wouldn't be able to use that and have like more power or anything like that because your powers come through your patron. So,
Okay. Well, then I'm going to get on the Quetzalcoatl.
Should we get Lokar?
there's been no official confirmation of if Lokar's dead or not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's dead. No need to check.
So is that Hamilton lying to them?
No.
Because I just didn't know if you were like, you didn't bother checking and you were like, he's dead, leave it alone and just leave him? Or?
That's me just being stupid.
Stupid head.
No, I mean, I guess we should, like, confirm that he's actually dead.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have turned into a fucking Quetzalcoatl right away either.
You should take his
He
pulse.
turns into a Quetzalcoatl, then goes and takes the pulse.
Check his pulse.
Accidentally slices
I
his
forgot.
neck.
Yeah, because I would have cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yeah, so I guess, like, let me, and I don't know if I need to roll or if I can use, like, an ability or something, but I guess I should confirm that he's actually dead.
Semantics.
Silly.
Silly goose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could just check to see if he has a pulse. Does he have a pulse?
You don't feel anything.
Okay.
You don't have any healing abilities.
Actually, you know what I can do? I have a spell for this. I cast Shocking Grasp
Okay.
on the body.
And what does that do exactly?
Lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to the creature you try to touch. I'm about to defibrillate this bad boy.
Get it going.
Or kill him.
Either way, confirmation.
All right, so make a medicine check while you're doing this.
A fingertip check.
I will kill you.
A medicine check. Hold on.
Is that a nat 20?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a 19.
19?
19.
Okay, so with the 19, whenever you use the shocking grasp and it just, like, electricity just, like, shoots through him, there is no immediate response. And his body just kind of, like, goes up and then, like, just comes back down into the dirt.
I do it again.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Is Hamilton saying, in this moment, I think that he's dead and I'm trying to revive him? Or are you trying to check to see if he's alive?
Well,
They're trying to figure out because you rolled well and I want to reward that.
So there was no pulse, and I've poked him. He's been bitten by a possum, and none of these things have had any reaction. So I'm going with it appears as though he's dead, and so I'm trying to revive him.
So when you hit him a second time, this like lightning just shoots out of your hands and just hits him, and you just hear him go, and he just kind of like sits up, like extremely fast, and he is now awake.
Tight. Shoot him
And-
with a crossbow.
Are you serious? You just pull out a crossbow and shoot him?
No.
I would have loved that. That would have been hilarious. That would be so Hamilton too.
No, because I don't want to kill him, and I don't know how hurt he is.
Yeah, I mean he's
Probably pretty hurt.
He was
got
dead.
slapped
So-
real hard.
so with it's the same thing as like Francis when he was complete. She was just encased up to the neck in this, while this magma stuff was utilizing his body. It was very similar to what happened with Francis. He's very beat up. His bones are partially broken, and he's in so much pain.
Yeah.
So he probably has like 1 HP at this moment. So he's just very downtrodden.
Yeah, I don't want to shoot him. I don't want to have to try to revive him again.
He also now has rabies.
He does have rabies.
So he might die of poison damage here in a second. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? Like, he's so, like he just kind of passed back out. Like, he couldn't even talk. He was so just almost dead.
I think we're going to Quetzalcoatl on out of here.
Yeah, I think we need to regroup.
Either that or we need to go get a few drinks. Bartholomew laying there, and Benedict turned into a Quetzalcoatl, and
I wonder if the Brandy's main's open.
You
Benedict.
guys are all so pretty hurt. Maybe you should go somewhere and rest.
That's what I was thinking. Back to Francis' house to rest.
I don't have to rest.
I can do normal
I
things.
never sleep.
I think both of you have a perk now that Benedict. Don't I hear you saying something about
A short rest counts as a long rest.
Yeah.
For me. Once per long rest, yes.
So I think, how long is a short rest? Has Bartholomew gotten a short rest just from laying down for this past few minutes?
No. Short rest is like 4
an
hours.
hour. It's like, yeah.
Oh, really? That's fucking long ass rest for me in real life.
Like a nap, 2 or 3 hours.
So Bartholomew just laying there says, "I believe we should get some rest and get some mead."
All right, so
I say we go to the Brandy's main. Let's go circle on back to the old watering hole and water our holes.
I turn back into myself.
Well, we got to get there.
He turns back into a Quetzalcoatl.
that's a second wild shape. He can't. Unless you just like to
Take a
retcon
short
that.
rest, I guess.
We'll just retcon that. You're
Yeah.
still a Quetzalcoatl.
We have to
Nautilus.
fly to get to Brandy's Main? I thought it was here.
It's all the way across town. I mean, and also Lokar, you're just going to leave Lokar like half dead in the middle of the battlefield, and Francis.
I got some
still
rope.
pretty
We'll
hurt.
just tie him onto the Quetzalcoatl's foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could do a Brandy's Main check.
Climb up on me. Let's go to Brandy's Main.
You're not going to pit stop anywhere or anything like that?
Nope. That is the pit stop.
That's the pit stop.
So you're going to take.
I'm going to take everybody,
Okay.
all of us. Yeah, are there one of them carrying Lokar to my back? Because I'm not going to him. Fuck that guy.
I can tell you.
I don't know. You guys
definitively
tell
that
me. I'm
I
not the
can't
boss here.
carry him.
Yeah, Bartholomew kind of does that thing where you roll up on your back and then you push off of the ground and onto your feet. Except he's tired and he fails, and he actually hobbles up and walks over and picks up Lokar and brings him over to the Quetzalcoatl's back and puts him up on the Quetzalcoatl's back.
Okay. And Josh, you pick up Francis, and Hamilton, you guys suit up inside of his little spandex suit with
Yee
Puddin',
yee
and you guys take off towards the Brandy's Main.
to the Brandy's main.
Topher, you are shot out of this pillar of light and into this courtyard. And everything is familiar here. And the things you see are familiar, but everything is just doused in light and it's pure. And as you look around, you're in some type of just heavenly courtyard. You begin to stroll through the courtyard, and there's birds chirping, there's crickets you can hear in the background. There's just everything is very, very peaceful. And at the end of the courtyard, beyond the small pools and between the trees, there is somewhat of a castle. Small castle, but it's very regal, and everything is just wreathed in sunlight. You are just somewhere as you look around beyond the bounds of the castle walls, there's just clouds. And at the end of the courtyard, there is a very ornate, majestic, tall door that is not open, it is closed. And then behind you, when you look back, there's a gateway and an arch that when you look out back that gateway, there's also just clouds. What do you do?
Make sure that Hamilton's not in my backpack.
So when you look down, the clothes that you're wearing, you don't have anything on you. You're very much you're wearing a white robe, and that's it.
I probably cry a tear of joy because Hamilton is no longer with me.
We get it. You hate Hamilton.
I don't know. I mean, I guess in my mind I realize that I am dead and that I guess I just... You said there's that archway?
There's a door to like the castle, but then behind you there's also like a archway with like a gate that leads out of the courtyard. And you're just standing right in the middle of it. And you have essentially two ways to go.
That was the castle. I mean, this seems very peaceful, so I don't want to leave it.
Okay. And as you get closer, go ahead and make a insight check.
$22.
Okay. With a 22, Topher, as you get closer, you recognize this church from your memories, and it is the church. It's not the church. It looks the same as the church. The courtyard is very different, and you're obviously in a very different setting. But as you get closer, the church reminds you, and you get a similar feeling to when you were a kid in the church that your parents left you.
You said it was a castle.
It is.
But
saying
it looks
you get
like
that
a church.
As you get closer,
Kinda
it
feels
changes into that type of the feeling you get is very similar.
I mean, I kind of want to go in and see if Phileas is there. This feels like,
Okay.
if it's familiar, I mean, maybe there's like a connection there.
Okay, so whenever you there are on the door, there's like these big handles, like these big rings, golden ringed handles that you can grab onto for each door, and you grab on it and open it. Okay, and whenever you do, you get close enough to the door, and on the door there is the symbol of Mishkal on both doors. And as you grab the door handle and pull on it, there is just light that just begins pouring in the door. Even though you're walking inside, it's even brighter in here.
I guess I kind of just put my arm up over my eyes just to kind of shield my eyes and just kind of just go in.
So as you begin to walk in, it very much feels like the church as you remember it. There are pews leading up to the front. And as you're kind of walking this way, you see something like runs through you, and it's like a ghost of your parents holding your hand as they're taking you forward through the church. And you can see it, and you remember. You have a very clear memory of being led in there, being very confused, not knowing what happened. And you stop, and you see them hand you off to Phileas. You watch this entire interaction, and then your parents start to walk back towards you, and they're crying, and they don't understand. They are also confused, and they're still talking to each other, and they pass back through you, and they're still talking as they're walking away. What do you do?
Well, let's see if I can understand what they're saying.
You can. And as you follow them, they walk back to the door, and they get to the other side of the door, and your mother collapses on the ground. And she's crying, and she says, I don't understand. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? And your father says, it wasn't our choice. I don't know what did this to him. I don't know either. I don't know why. But we can't handle this. And then the mother begins to burst into tears and say, he was my son. He was my son. I can't leave him here. And the father just grabs the mother and says, we have to. We can't. We cannot handle this. We must leave this to Mishkal. And whenever he says that, they just both like fade.
Well, now I'm curious as to what they were talking about. So I guess I turn around and go back into the church and see if there's anything else that... I mean, I'm assuming I'm still in the church. They just left or faded away. But kind of go back in and see if there's anything else that appears to me that might jog my memory or show me like stuff about my past.
Yeah, so as you walk in to the church, this time it's different. It's no longer the church that you remember. It is a throne room, a very regal throne room with large banners with the symbol of Mishkal hanging by the windows, and the ceilings are vaulted maybe 100 feet high. Just a huge throne room, and in the distance there is a plate. Very much similar to the one, what hits your memory and strikes your memory is the plate that, like, the one that, like, is the seal. Not the same size. It's actually just a little bit smaller, but very similar to that.
Is it the one that was hanging up in the church?
No. The one that was hanging in the church was the other.
The seal. Okay.
This is not the same. I don't want anyone to. It is not. It is. Yeah. That's not deception.
It's just another.
Not the same. It's something similar in size, but you see it, and it's sitting on something that's causing it to be faced on, like the stand. It's on a stand, but it's rear facing. So the plate's laying on the stand as if whatever this plate is showing or whatever's on this is facing the other direction. And that is sitting right where the throne is. And as you're walking towards or into this, everything around you, like I said, there's banners. You're in this like heavenly place. What does Topher in this moment think this place is?
From what had just happened, Topher thinks that this might be something else from his past. Because he just had a flashback of whenever he was left at the church. So to Topher, it's like, maybe this is another thing from my past that I don't remember. And that these are just memories that are inside of me, but some of them I do remember, some of them I don't remember. You know?
Okay.
That's probably what Topher would be thinking after that first encounter.
Make a perception check for me.
Nat 20.
Okay. With a nat 20, Topher, whenever you walk in and it's different and you get this feeling that maybe this is another thing from your past, maybe there's something else you'll learn here. And as you begin to look around, you see these banners, you see this, it looks like a throne room. And you look out the windows and you see these clouds and you see this heavenly light just descended on this. And with a nat 20, you come to the conclusion that wherever you are, the reason you're having these visions is because you have been innately connected to this place. This is Mishkal's throne. You are in the presence of this deity. And whatever this is at the top where this throne should be, it's different. That Mishkal's not there. It's this weird plate type thing that's facing the opposite direction. That's just at the top of this tremendously high staircase.
Wow. I want to go look and see what's on the other side of that plate then.
Okay. So as you climb the stairs, it's almost like this ethereal joy that fills you. Everything seems okay. Your spirits are uplifting and you've accepted the things that have already happened. And every step along the way, the hundreds of steps they're just the very small steps. And every step, everything just gets infinitely just more and more just happier, joyful. Everything, your problems are just fading away. and you care less and less about the past until you get there and you see this, almost like this stand. It's got like a the back of it is probably as tall as you are, and it's on like this swivel with like handles, and like this plate is facing away from you, and it looks as if you could grab it and pull it around the other direction.
Yeah.
You do that?
No, I want to walk around the other side.
Okay. So when you walk around this, there's like this, from the sides, there's like this weird spinning light. And whenever you circle this light kind of like swirls around in it. And then inside of it, everything comes into focus. And there is Mishkal standing there, blindfolded, with her hands behind her back, with Dark Topher standing behind her, holding a sword to her throat, and this just jumps out at you, and your vision goes black.